The greatest thing about growing up with a father in the house is a thought process. A thought process. That's one of the greatest. Not the great. That's one of the greatest things. If you grew up with your father in the house, right, and you have a situation that you want to talk to him about, and it may be dire to you at the time because you were a child. So you like, hey, pops, this is what's going on. This happened. This happened. And you know what your pops is going to tell you to do? He's going to tell you to slow down. Slow down. Sit down and let's go through it. So what happened in the beginning? You're going to explain what happened in the beginning. Then he's going to say, okay, and then what happened after that? Well, this happened. And then he's going to say, well, and you came to this conclusion. It's a thought process. The beginning, the middle, the end, it's a thought process. Your father would check you once you start rambling. After you start getting checked on that rambling, you stop rambling. As children, you grow up and you understand I can't be rambling because I was a child. I'm an adult now or a young adult. I have to conduct myself differently. I have to present PowerPoints. I have to explain what I'm talking about, and I can't be all over the place. This is the reason why nobody talks to them. This is the reason why nobody pays attention to them. Because they're always all over the place, rambling. All over the place, just rambling. And the problem with that is that they have sons. They didn't want to be with their fathers. They wanted to go back to the street. And now the sons is subjected to growing up to be rambling and just running off, not understanding you need to have a thought process when you're trying to convey something to the public or get people to understand where you're from or where you're coming from or what you're trying to do. You have to have a thought process. Listen to this.
I don't care what y'all say. I love a simp. I love men that are simps. You want to know why? Because they know they got the biggest balls on earth. They know they have the ability to take care of their women, their family, and themselves. I love them. Let me tell you something about 50-50 men.
Everywhere. How you go from simps to 50-50 men? They're everywhere. Do you see how you go from simps to 50-50 men? Because she's going to say the reason why she have a problem with 50-50 men. Simps can be men with money and they could be men without money. They could be men that's willing to go 50-50 and they could be men that's not willing to go 50-50. You don't know what you're talking about. A simp could say, hey, listen, I don't go 50-50 because I don't have it to go 50-50. And if I did have it, you know, my woman wouldn't be going 50-50 if I was able to afford more. If I was able to earn more, my wife wouldn't be going 50-50. Or I'm not a six-figure earner, I'm not even going to approach being in a relationship because I can't afford to pay her way and my way. I'm not even gonna. Y'all got problems approaching women, and y'all don't even have the money to do that. See, I'm not gonna approach a woman until I have the six figures. Until I have the money. I don't have the money yet. But if I am with a woman and we're going 50-50, I'm going to be the one doing all the chores. I'm going to be the one sweeping and mopping, doing the laundry, because she's not supposed to be going 50-50. But since I am going 50-50 with her, I'm going to make sure that her life is a lot more easier than mine. See, 50-50 men, non-50-50 men, can be simps and simps alike. So for her to just go from one aspect to another aspect just like that in a blink of an eye shows you where she's at mentally. She didn't even break it down. It's just rambling. That's all it is. It's just rambling. But let's go.
50-50 men aren't just talking about financially. 50-50 men are going to get their 50% now of them getting everything they want, instant gratification. And your 50% is going to come later in life.
Now explain that. Let's see if she explained that. Let's see if she explained that. Let's go. That's a huge statement right there. You know why? Because it doesn't make sense. So let's see if you're going to make sense of it. Let's see.
As a woman, they want everything they want right now for themselves. And they're going to promise you whatever they're going to promise you.
Okay, you just said that.
To come later.
You just said that. Now explain that. You see what I'm saying? You just said that. You made the same statement twice. Different words. Let's go. Let's see if she explained that.
Do not buy that. Don't buy into that. Okay? Let's also talk about the other side of 50-50 that they
so you're not going to explain that. All right. Well, let me break it down. You know why it doesn't make any sense? You know why it doesn't make any sense that a man that goes 50-50 is getting his half up front? Because what do you mean by his half of, you mean half of the bills? What do you mean? You're benefiting, you're going to benefit later? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? How are you benefiting later? So he's get to be in that apartment or house and you going to be in a house later? Is that what you're saying? He get to pay for the groceries. The groceries are paying now. You're going to eat the groceries later. What is she talking about? What do you mean? The light bill, the cable bill, all that 50-50 is being paid, right? You mean he's going to be able to enjoy cable and lights on, and you're going to enjoy that later? What are you talking about? He gets to have a place now, right? And you're homeless now, and you're going to enjoy it later? You don't make any sense. 50-50 is 50-50 down the line. The mortgage, you're going 50-50 on that, right? The car insurance, you're going 50-50 on that, right? And the utilities, everything else is 50-50. Therefore, y'all both are enjoying whatever it is that you're paying for at the same time. You're not making any sense. What do you mean? She didn't break it down because she's not. All they do is just make blanket statements and start rambling. And the problem with that is that in that bubble, remember the bubble I was telling y'all about? In that bubble, stuff like this can exist. If a man come out and start rambling and you got other men that are watching or paying attention, he's going to say, wait. The men are going to say, wait. You're going to have to explain that. The men are going to say, nah, what are you talking about? Explain yourself. You can't just go from one statement to another one. They're going to say, whoa. Rewind. What do you mean by this?
You don't talk about. 50-50 is, if I'm miserable, you got to be equally miserable.
Now let's see if she explained that.
50-50 is, if I got to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, you got to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work.
Okay, so you're not going to explain it.
got to be just as miserable as me.
So so wait a minute. Miserable is waking up to go to work. That is that what she means? So you're mad, and you know what's funny? You know what's funny? They talk about stuff they don't have going on. You don't have a man paying 50-50. I mean, 50-50 or 100%. You don't have a man paying 100% or a man going 50-50 with you. You're paying all your bills by yourself. So you getting a guy that go 50-50 with you will be a come up for you because y'all are always struggling. That's a come up, a guy going 50-50. Because you're paying 100% of all your bills. If you get a guy to go 50-50 with, right? And I'm seeing so many of them trying to do the reach back to get a guy to go 50-50, right? Y'all don't know anything about a man paying 100% of the bills because nobody is checking for y'all like that. Nobody is checking for y'all like that. And let me explain what I mean by checking for y'all. When you look at women that get that type of treatment, right? These guys are paying 100% of all of their bills. These guys are paying, everything that, buying them stuff, making sure, they have their own. You got guys out there that are paying their bills and don't even live there, right? Do you know what type of women those are? Do you know what type of women get that type of treatment? It's only a few. It's not even, you know what type of women are? We're talking about 8s, 9s. 8s, 9s, 10s, if you want to call them 10s. They in a different stratosphere. It's only a few of them. It's only a small percentage of them that get that treatment. Very small. Very small. Very small. %77% of all women go to work. 70% of all women. So that percentage that don't go to work, that have a man paying for them, it's a very small percentage. I'm talking about a very small percentage of all women. Very small. And if you look into that small percentage of women that get that for them, it's not them. They're not in there. They're not in there. You don't even have the 50-50. And you're talking about a guy paying 100%. You don't even have the 50-50. They talking about things they know nothing about. They don't know nothing about a guy paying all their bills. They don't. Because nobody is checking for them. This is fairy tale. This is all fairy tale for them.
A lot of men know that a woman deserves so much more than they can give them, and they will take their frustration out on that woman.
Well, let's see if she explained that. Why do A lot of men know that the women deserve more than. Let's see if she explains that.
A lot of men know that there are men out here that's doing the damn thing, and they deserve that type of man, and they're frustrated at that man.
What type of man is that? Let's see what type. Doing the damn thing. That's the description. What's doing the damn thing? Let's see. Let's see.
A man will watch another man take care of his woman and get jealous.
Okay. So she's not going to break that down. You see? You see? Y'all have to pay attention. Yeah. I'm explaining this to y'all, black men, because a lot of y'all be listening to this and you don't analyze what's being said to you. You don't. Whoa. No, you're going to have to explain that. And the reason why they can't explain this is because once they start explaining it, right? And if you're a numbers guy, you're going to start breaking this stuff down. Wait a minute. What type of guy is that? What's the percentage of that guy? How much does he make? What is he doing? What's that average income of the type of guys you're talking about? And what do they want? And what do they get? What's your average income? What's the percentage of these women that are getting this? What percentage of the women that are going to work? Explain. Once it start coming down to the numbers, that's when they start getting exposed. So this is the reason why you can't just be letting them just ramble on and just run their mouth, and then it makes it seem like they know what they're talking about when you don't interject.
Mad, get upset that this man is actually doing what he is inadequate in doing.
What makes him inadequate? Let's see. Is she going to say that? Well, let's go.
These men try to be in competition with these men.
Okay, nope, she's not going to say what man. Okay, all right, let's go.
But they can't. If a man is out with his homeboy and his homeboy is with his lady and he decides to buy his girl something while they're out, that man will look at that man. He wasn't even thinking about his girl, and then go buy a gift for his girl saying, oh, I bought this for my girl or my wife or whatever the case. Just to be in competition, knowing fully well that he was not thinking about that woman at any point in time. He was the third wheel.
Now, what does that have to do with 50-50? You went from a man being inadequate, a simp, 50-50, now a guy being outside as a third wheel watching his friend buy his girl a gift. Okay.
A lot of times the gifts don't even come from the heart. It comes from watching the actions of other people. Do you get where I'm going with this?
No.
So when I talk about 50-50 men, I want you to understand this. 50-50 men are going to call providing men simps. Simps to me only mean successful in maintaining and providing. Successful in maintaining priorities. A lot of them go.
Really? You know, one thing I tell brothers all the time, right? One thing I tell brothers all the time is pay attention to the comment section. I tell young brothers all the time, pay attention to the comment section. You're going to get a lot of insight, right? So that's what she said. No, I'm going to tell you what one of the brothers in the comment section said in the last video. He said, a simp is a sad, insignificant man personified. Salute to that brother. That's what a simp is. What she said what a simp is?
Maintaining and providing. Successful in maintaining priorities.
She says successful in maintaining priorities. No, a simp is a sad, insignificant man personified. All right? Salute to you. His name, I saw the comment and I was like, yeah. Perspective. Salute to you. Yeah. Look, for the young brothers, look in the comment section, man. In the comment section of my videos, you're going to see a lot of the brothers in there telling you what and what not to do and dropping gems. That's what a simp is.
A lot of them going to call them simps because they have the ability to do it. The men who call these other men simps don't have bigger balls. Okay? They guppies out here. They not sharks. They ain't got it together. So they're going to be jealous. They're going to be mad. They're going to be upset. They might even be upset at the woman. If another man opened a door for his girl, he going to be upset at his girl. But it's like, you could have opened the door for me, but you didn't. Now you mad at the next man.
Why she shake her head like she just dropped something? Like she just dropped some big jewel. Let me tell you something, right? I don't care. You could tell she's short bus. You could tell something is wrong here. Short bus. Let me explain something to you, men. Let me explain something to you. If I don't care how much money you make. I don't care. I don't care how much money you make. I really don't care. You better never pay all the bills. I don't care. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care. I'm talking to you. You six-figure earners. You do that, you're setting yourself up. I don't care how much you, I don't care if she makes 40 grand a year and you make 150 grand. I don't care. Yeah, you still pay your half. I may pay more on, if the roof need to get fixed. Need a new hot water heater. I may pay for those things. But as far as the bills go, no. No. Because guess what? If she wasn't with you, she would still have to pay her bills, right? And she would go right on along with her life. But so since she get with you, she don't get to pay bills anymore? Is that what it is? She go to work and all her money is going where? Going to clothes, shoes, and you're just gonna be paying. And let's say she decides she's not gonna be spending. Let's say she's gonna watch you pay all the bills and she's gonna save her money, get up a little nest egg. And let's just say you have a hiccup here and there. Now you don't make 150 grand anymore. Now you make, 80 grand, 60 grand, whatever it is. You got a huge hiccup. It happens sometimes. What happens when you decide to tell her, listen, I'm going to need you to start going half on the bills now? Because I'm struggling a little bit right now. You know what's going to happen? She's going to resent you. She's going to resent you. Because she's been living on easy street for so long with you. Now when things get tough, she's going to be uncomfortable with the situation. And she's not going to like it. And you know what's going to happen? For all those years that you told her, that she didn't have to pay a bill, now you're telling her she have to pay a bill, she's going to have a problem. That's just like a person that always asks you for money and you always gave it. This person asked you for money 10 times already. You always gave it. That 11th time you said no, and every transaction, every time you gave that person money goes right out the door. It's like it's forgotten. They're mad at you because you're not giving them no more money, but they're not looking at it and saying, well, wow, this person gave me money 10 times in a row. And instead of that person saying, I should be grateful for that, that person is mad at you now because you decided you're not going to give no more money. And all those transactions in the past just don't exist anymore. That's what's going to happen when you tell them not to pay bills, and maybe you end up having a hiccup, and maybe you say, hey, I'm going to need you to, put a little more in. That's when you start getting resented. And that's when everything crumbles. No. I don't care how much you make. I don't care from 45,000 to 150,000. Listen, let me tell you something, black man. I make pretty good money. I would never let a woman just lay up and not do anything. Never. You're going to pay half of the bills here. You're going to pay half of the bills. I'm not. I would never do that. First of all, I'll never be with no Keisha. That's the number one. But I would never do that. Never. I don't care what anybody say. Never. If you make good money, you never get with a woman and say, you know what, I'm paying all the bills. You're setting yourself up. So what they're trying to do is trying to shame you into making you seem like you're less of a man if you're not paying all the bills. That's the new go-to move. Oh, if you're not paying all the bills, you're less of a man. The funny thing is they don't have any of that going on. This is all stuff that they've seen. They see they'll watch a Disney movie and then bring that into their real life experience. They'll really watch a Walt Disney movie and say, you know what? That's what life's supposed to be like. They're real goofballs, man.
Because he did what he wanted to do. He did what a gentleman would do. Are you a gentleman? Are you doing your job? Are you being a provider? Are you protecting? No. You sit here talking about 50-50 and what you bring at the table. Don't get it confused, ladies. They just want you to be as miserable as they are. A lot of men know deep down inside that you deserve better.
Why?
And if they can't give that to you, they're going to be frustrated. And you're
Why? Why though? Why do you deserve better? Why? Why do you deserve better? At least explain why. At least explain why. Somebody asked me, hey, why do men deserve respect, or why do we deserve feminine, submissive women? It's because men, black men particularly, we bring structure. That's number one. We bring structure. We bring discipline. We bring understanding. We bring knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We bring balance. This is what we bring. We bring balance. That's the reason why you should respect us. That's the reason why it's a privilege to be under our leadership. I can explain that. Why we deserve more. I can break down why we deserve more. We can show facts and statistics of children growing up in single parent households opposed to those growing up with two parents. We can break this down. I could break down the essence of what a man brings to this table. Explain to us why you deserve more. You can't.
And you're going to be frustrated with them. They're going to sit there and make your life miserable because they are miserable. You understand? They know they ain't got it together. They know this.
What do you mean by getting it together?
So these 50-50 men out here, bypass. Bypass them until they come with 100. Okay? Bypass them. Let them go get it out the mud. It kills me. It kills me because they be like, I love women. I love women. What you talking about? Women are beautiful. Women are this. And then when you get to them with their actions, they do everything against what they say they love. And then they hate the man that actually love women. The man that loves doing for women. The man that's productive. They hate that man.
No, you hate that man. You hate that man. You hate the productive man. You don't like him. See, they're talking about this imaginary man. That's why you don't pay no attention. This imaginary man that's coming to pick, do 50-50 with them. But in all actuality, the men that they are with don't go 50-50 at nothing. Yeah, we talking about the pookster. They don't go 50-50 with nothing. They don't pay for nothing. They don't bring nothing to the table, nothing. You hate that man. You hate the productive man because he's productive. You hate him because he goes to work every day. You hate him because he's not in the street scrapping for you. You hate him because he's not out there selling packs. You hate this man. Don't try to throw that on us. You see how they try to throw that on us? You hate that guy. You hate that average productive man. You're looking for a guy that's way out of your league. He's invisible to you. But all those men that's there, right? We're talking about the average productive man, right? That's there that you can easily snatch up. You don't want him because you're too busy searching for this imaginary man that you don't have, that you don't know nothing about, and you hate that man. So it's either, this is the extremes, it's either they can't get the invisible guy or they just go to the bottom of the barrel because they can't deal with the productive man because they don't like him.
They hate him because they not productive. They think women don't deserve it.
She's really short butt. You can tell she's short butt. They're
supposed to love women. They love the access to women. They love getting things out of women, but they don't love women. They don't love to take care of women. They don't love to respect women. They don't love women. They love men.
Oh,
because I don't understand how you could disrespect someone.
Wow, here we go.
Not take care of something you claim to love. It don't make sense logically.
So for years they've been doing this. For years. For years. If you don't do what they want you to do, they question your sexuality. Really. So now you're going to this is all just disrespect. That's all this is. This is all you've been getting, black men. This is all you've been getting is disrespect. You've been getting this for the past 60 years. Longer than that. I'm talking about as far as the media. Far as the media go. You've been getting nothing but this for 60 years. And y'all want to talk about me? Oh, he's a string. I'm a string? That's all I hear. That's all I hear. Get out of here.
Listen, I will take a simp over one of y'all creatures any day. Because I know me and that simp gonna be big. I know it. Because the same energy he giving me, he gonna get.
Why are you not big by yourself? What are you talking? Big? What do you mean big is what? What big how? What do you mean? Emphasize what you mean by that. You know what? You're gonna be uh Beyonce and Jay-Z? What are you talking about? What are you gonna be Sierra and Russell Simpson? I mean Russell Wilson? What are you talking about? What is she talking about?
I done dealt with creatures, and the same energy they gave me, they got. Even worse. So listen, I will take me a simp. I'll take a man and do what he's supposed to do.
So you dealt with creatures, and instead of not dealing with them, you dealt with them to give worse. So you got in relationships with these guys that you did not like. You did not like dealing with them. You called them creatures, yet you were still in a relationship, and you gave them worse, which means you gave this person problems. Y'all weren't working together, which means that your relationships have been chaotic. And instead of ending the chaos, you prolonged it by giving this person worse instead of just cutting the relationship off because this person was a said creature. This is who they get information from, y'all.
Over y'all any day, over any 50-50. Because I know he coming with it. And I know he
Coming
got
with
big
what?
balls. And I know he got a big eggplant. And you can't tell me different.
Really? Because, wait, what are you going to do with this? What are you talking about now? Is she looking for a tizzy tour? Because she keep talking about, is you looking for a tizzy tour? Are you frustrated? You haven't been taking on a tizzy tour in a minute? Short bus out here looking for a tizzy tour. That's why she's really mad. She's really mad because nobody. She's getting a lot of no's in the street. A lot of no. I'm good. You know, the eyes are the windows to the soul. When you look at her eyes, it's blank. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no life. There's no, there's no kindness. There's no brightness. There's nothing there, right? And what I'm about to say to y'all, black men, pay attention. You deserve better than this. I've told y'all for years that they really don't respect you. They don't care about you. They only want to use you. That's it. Whatever it is that you have, and when you do give them what you have, and it could be your last, it's still not enough. It's still not enough. They have never been cooperative with you. Never. In the history of time, they never been cooperative. They never wanted to be under your leadership. They always snaked you. Always. Always. See, I keep it since the inception of bondage, just so brothers don't have to be confused, but I can take this back. I can take this back 4, 5, 6, 700 years. But then brothers would get a little confused, like, wow, wait. So this happened in 1455, and then this happened in 1202. This happened in 1775. Wait a minute, AC. What period of time? No, I don't like to do that. I don't do that. I like to keep it simple so brothers can follow the timeline. But the issue, I mean, not the issue, the timeline that I have brothers following is such a simple timeline of treason. It's a very simple timeline. It's a very simple. It's a it's a timeline that you can easily follow because through the 1860s you see the treason, 1870 treason, 1880, 1890, 1900, 1910, 1920, 30, 40, 50, just treason. It's such an easy timeline to follow. So when you see videos like this, right? And you you may be sitting down listening and you listen to a video, you have to analyze what's being said and don't let them just ramble on. That's what y'all been doing. Y'all let them ramble on. Y'all don't stop them and be like, wait a minute, now you got to explain this. Y'all don't do that. You just let them ramble on. And by letting them ramble on, right, you're essentially letting them get off points that they never made. It's insane. Because when you let them finish and let them just keep, rambling, what ends up happening, it seems like they made a point when in all actuality, they never made one point. But when you stop them and be like, wait a minute, now you got to explain that. And since they don't have a thought process, remember that thought process I told you in the beginning? Since they don't have a thought process, right? What ends up happening is they start to crash, like really crash out. Really start crashing out. Anyway, salute. Stay in the shadows, black men. Peace.
You big dummy.